Hello everyone, I am Professor Nitin Pawar and I welcome you all to my channel Accounts Unlimited. Today we are going to understand the concept of mutual fund. Mutual fund is a trust that pulls together the funds of many investors to make investments in assets which are specifically permitted by its stated investment objectives. उसका मतलब म्यूचुअल फंड एक ट्रस्ट है जो लोगों से पैसा कलेक्ट करते हैं और उसे आगे उनके इन्वेस्टमेंट प्रेफरेंस के हिसाब से सिक्योरिटीज में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, जैसे कि स्टॉक, डेट और मनी मार्केट इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स. Now let us see how does this whole mutual fund business works. Suppose there are a number of investors जिनको अपना पैसा शेयर्स या डिबेंचर्स में इन्वेस्ट करना है, but these investors don't have an adequate market knowledge. Since they don't have an adequate market knowledge, investing directly in shares and debentures will be riskier for them. So in order to cater to the need of such investors, एक फंड क्रिएट किया जाता है जहां पे इन इन्वेस्टर्स का पैसा पुल करते हैं. ये इन्वेस्टर्स कलेक्टिवली ये फंड में पैसा इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, इसीलिए फंड को म्यूचुअल फंड कहा जाता है. म्यूचुअल फंड विल इन टर्न अलॉट यूनिट्स टू द इन्वेस्टर्स एंड द इन्वेस्टर्स विल बी कॉल्ड एज यूनिट होल्डर्स. अब ये फंड एस्टैब्लिश कौन करता है? सो इट इज द रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ द स्पॉन्सरर. Sponsorer are like promoters of the company. They establishes the mutual fund, get it registered with the SEBI, forms trust, appoints board of trustees. So board of trustees are like board of directors of the company. So what is the responsibility of the board of trustees? The board of trustees holds the property of the mutual fund on behalf of the unit holders. The board of trustees appoint asset management company. एसेट मैनेजमेंट कंपनी का काम है कि ये फंड को इफेक्टिवली मैनेज करे. अब ये एसेट मैनेजमेंट कंपनीज के पास अपने फंड होल्ड मैनेजर्स होते हैं. ये फंड मैनेजर्स प्रोफेशनली क्वालिफाइड होते हैं. दे हैव एन एक्सपर्टाइज नॉलेज ऑफ मार्केट एंड उनका मार्केट का एक्सपीरियंस भी काफी ज्यादा होता है, जिन वजह से दे कम अप विद डिफरेंट स्कीम इन ऑर्डर टू कैटर द नीड्स ऑफ इंडिविजुअल इन्वेस्टर्स. अब ये इंडिविजुअल इन्वेस्टर्स के नीड के हिसाब से वो फंड का पैसा आगे मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, आइदर इन इक्विटी, डेट, गोल्ड और मनी मार्केट फंड्स. नाउ इट इज द रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ द ट्रस्टी टू मॉनिटर द वर्क ऑफ एएमसी, टू लुक दैट द एएमसी इज वर्किंग इन अकॉर्डेंस विद द सेबी गाइडलाइंस. द बोर्ड ऑफ ट्रस्टीज ऑल्सो अपॉइंट्स कस्टोडियन. तो कस्टोडियन का काम क्या है? कस्टोडियन होल्ड द फंड सिक्योरिटीज इन सेफ कीपिंग. सो दिस इज हाउ द होल म्यूचुअल फंड बिजनेस वर्क्स. So let us see the advantages of mutual fund. First advantage is professional management. The funds are managed by qualified and experienced fund managers. These managers have real-time access to the crucial market information and are able to execute trades on the largest and most effective scale. Hence, we get an advantage of professional management. Second, portfolio diversification. Mutual funds normally invest in well-diversified portfolio of securities. Each investor in a fund is a part owner of all of the fund's assets. This enables him to hold a diversified investment portfolio even with a small amount of investment. Third, reduction of risk. Mutual funds offer diversification in portfolio which reduces the risk. Fourth, high return. Since reduction of risk होने के कारण the whole business of mutual fund gives an higher return as compared to other securities. Then liquidity. You can buy or sell in a mutual fund at any time. So the mutual fund offers you liquidity. Transparency. Now the whole business of mutual fund is quite transparent. Hence the mutual fund provides an advantage of transparency. Economies of scale. If you as an individual investors, if you are investing in a security, आपका quantum of investments काफी कम होगा, बट यहाँ पे quantum of investments ज्यादा होने के कारण यहाँ पे economies of scale मिलता है. Low cost of management. Under the existing SEBI norms, the maximum expense that an equity scheme charge to an investor is 2.50%, whereas In case of debt funds, it is 2.25%. Thus, no mutual fund can increase cost beyond the SEBI prescribed limit. Hence, there is a low cost of management. Safe as highly regulated. Now, the investment business is highly regulated by SEBI guidelines. Hence, mutual fund में invest करना safe है. Now, let us also understand the limitations of mutual fund. No guarantee of return. Mutual fund, although regulated by the SEBI, are not insured against losses. That means, despite the risk reducing diversification benefit provided by the mutual fund, losses can occur. Fluctuating returns. Unlike fixed income products such as bonds and debentures, mutual fund experience price fluctuation along with the stocks that makes up the fund. So their return can be fluctuating. Loss of control. Now you give your fund to the fund manager to manage. The fund manager will decide upon the securities to buy and sell and when to do so. So you don't have control on which securities the fund manager should buy for you. Now, from the point of view of investors, there are too many choices of mutual fund available in the market. So selecting a proper investment becomes a difficult and tedious task. But having said all these limitations, the advantage of mutual funds outweighs its limitation. So I would make a point over here कि म्यूचुअल फंड सही है. तो अब अगर म्यूचुअल फंड सही है तो कौन से टाइप का म्यूचुअल फंड सही है, उसके लिए लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड द टाइप्स ऑफ म्यूचुअल फंड्स. Mutual funds can be broadly classified based on structure and based on principal investment. So based on structure, mutual funds can be open-ended schemes, close-ended schemes, and based on principal investments, there can be equity schemes, debt schemes, hybrid schemes, solution-oriented schemes, and other schemes. Now we will be looking into all these schemes in detail. Open-ended schemes. As the name says, these schemes allow investors to buy or sell units at any point in time. They don't have a fixed maturity period. Investors deals directly with the mutual fund company for their investments and redemption options. The key feature of this scheme is its liquidity. Investors can conveniently buy or sell their units at the prevailing NAV. This scheme has an unlimited capitalization. So all open-ended schemes have an unlimited capitalization. Most of these schemes that are available in the market are open-ended schemes. That is approximately 59% of the schemes are open-ended schemes. Now close-ended scheme. As the name says, this scheme has a stipulated maturity period. The investor can invest only during the initial launch period, that is called as the NFO or the new fund offer. Once the offer closes, the investors are not allowed to buy or redeem directly from the fund. And because of this limitation, close-ended funds have a constant capitalization. That means once the launch offer ends, now no new capital can be brought in the fund. So they have a constant capitalization. However, to provide much needed liquidity, these funds are then listed on the stock exchange where the investor can buy or sell at the market price, which may be at premium or discount to the scheme's NAV depending upon the market demand and supply. Let us see the different equity schemes available in the market. So there are a number of equity schemes available in the market. They are large cap funds, mid cap funds, small cap funds, large and mid cap funds, multi cap funds, dividend yield funds, focused fund, sectoral or thematic fund, and ELSS. Before understanding about these schemes, let us first understand the concept of capitalization. Now, cap means capitalization. So according to the market capitalization of the companies are ranked. That means the company with highest market capitalization will be given first rank. So the first 100 companies according to their capitalization are called as large cap companies. 101st to 250th company are called as mid cap companies, and 251st onwards companies are called as small cap companies. So if the fund which invest money in the stock of large capital companies are called as large cap funds. The fund which invest your money in the stocks of mid capital companies are called as mid cap funds, and the fund investing your money in the capital of the stock of small cap companies are called as small cap funds. Now large and mid cap funds, now here the investment is in the stocks of both large and mid cap companies. Multi cap funds में investment is done across all the three capital stocks. Now dividend yield funds, यहाँ पे आपका फंड मैनेजर ऐसे कंपनीज के स्टॉक को टैप करता है जो कंपनीज ओवर द इयर्स रेगुलर डिविडेंड दे रहे हैं. सो यहाँ पे फोकस होता है ऐसे कंपनीज का स्टॉक खरीदना जो आपको रेगुलर डिविडेंड यील्ड देने की कैपेसिटी रखते हैं. फोकस फंड्स, नाउ फोकस फंड्स आर फोकस्ड ओनली ऑन अ मैक्सिमम ऑफ 30 स्टॉक्स, whereas other funds में the money can be diversified in up to 100 stocks, लेकिन फोकस फंड्स में खाली 30 स्टॉक में आपका पैसा इन्वेस्ट किया जाता है, अप टू 30 स्टॉक. सो दिस हैव अ फोकस्ड अप्रोच. सेक्टरल और थीमेटिक फंड, एज द नेम सेज, यहां पे आपके फंड का मनी इज इन्वेस्टेड इन स्पेसिफिक सेक्टर ऑफ द इकोनॉमी. नाउ जैसे कि आपका इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर सेक्टर हो तो इंफ्रा स्टॉक्स होते हैं जो आपका पैसा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर सेक्टर में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, या ऑटोमोबाइल सेक्टर, या समझो एफएमसीजी सेक्टर. सो डिफरेंट सेक्टर्स ऑफ द इकोनॉमी है, तो कोई भी एक सेक्टर में आपका पैसा यहाँ पे इन्वेस्ट होता है. दिस इज कॉल्ड एज सेक्टरल और थीमेटिक फंड. ELSS is equity linked saving scheme. Now this is a mutual fund which gives the benefit of taxation under 80C. लेकिन यहाँ पे आपका पैसा 3 साल के लिए लॉक हो जाता है, यानी within that 3 years you are not allowed to sell the mutual fund. Now debt scheme. Debt schemes में फंड मैनेजर आपके पैसे को डिफरेंट डेट सिक्योरिटीज या मनी मार्केट सिक्योरिटीज में इन्वेस्ट करता है. तो ये जो कंपनीज है इनके डेट सिक्योरिटीज या मनी मार्केट सिक्योरिटीज का ड्यूरेशन के हिसाब से आपके अलग अलग फंड्स क्रिएट किए गए हैं. दैट इज ओवरनाइट फंड, लिक्विड फंड, अल्ट्रा शॉर्ट ड्यूरेशन फंड, लो ड्यूरेशन फंड, शॉर्ट ड्यूरेशन फंड, मीडियम ड्यूरेशन फंड, मीडियम टू लॉन्ग ड्यूरेशन फंड, लॉन्ग ड्यूरेशन फंड, डायनामिक बॉन्ड फंड, मनी मार्केट फंड, कॉर्पोरेट बॉन्ड फंड, क्रेडिट रिस्क फंड, बैंकिंग एंड PSU फंड, गिल्ड फंड. नाउ लेट अस सी द मीनिंग या कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ दिस फंड्स. तो ओवरनाइट फंड में आपका फंड मैनेजर ऐसे डेट सिक्योरिटीज में पैसा इन्वेस्ट करेगा जिसका मैच्योरिटी ओवरनाइट का हो, यानी 1 डे का मैच्योरिटी हो. लिक्विड फंड में the money would be invested in debt or money market securities which have a maturity period of up to 91 days. Ultra short duration में the maturity is 3 to 6 months. Long duration में it is 6 to 12 months. Short duration में 1 to 3 years. Medium duration में 3 to 4 years. And medium to long duration में it is 4 to 7 years. Then long duration में it is more than 7 years. So according to durations ये फंड्स को डिफरेंशिएट किया गया है. देन डायनामिक बॉन्ड फंड, यहां पे आपका फंड मैनेजर जो डेट सिक्योरिटीज खरीदेगा वो अक्रॉस ऑल ड्यूरेशंस में इन्वेस्ट करेगा. सो दे आर कॉल्ड एज डायनामिक बॉन्ड फंड्स. मनी मार्केट फंड्स, हियर द fund money is invested in money market instruments which are having maturity periods of up to 1 year. Then corporate bond funds. So here the investment will be in corporate bonds जिसका highest rating हो. highest rating का मतलब A plus and above rating वाले bonds में आपका पैसा इन्वेस्ट किया जाएगा. क्रेडिट रिस्क फंड, सो क्रेडिट रिस्क फंड में इन्वेस्टमेंट विल बी इन कॉर्पोरेट बॉन्ड्स, लेकिन यहाँ पे मीडियम एंड स्मॉल रेटेड कॉर्पोरेट बॉन्ड्स में आपका फंड का पैसा इन्वेस्ट किया जाता है. सो यहाँ पे ए एंड बिलो रेटिंग्स वाले कॉर्पोरेट बॉन्ड्स में फंड का पैसा इन्वेस्ट किया जाता है. देन कम्स बैंकिंग एंड PSU फंड्स. नाउ हियर the fund money is invested in debt instruments of banks and public sector undertakings. Then gilt edge funds, here the investment is done in गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज, सो जहां पे पैसा गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं वहां पे उनको गिल्ड फंड कहा जाता है। हाइब्रिड स्कीम्स, as the name says, here the fund manager will invest fund money in debt instruments as well as equity and equity related instruments. So let us see the different hybrid schemes available in the market. Conservative hybrid fund, balanced hybrid fund, aggressive hybrid fund, dynamic asset allocation or balanced advantage, arbitrage fund, equity savings. Now, as the name says, conservative hybrid fund, here 10 to 25% of the total assets will be invested in equity and equity related instruments and the remaining 75 to 90% will be invested in debt. तो यहाँ पे debt exposure ज्यादा होता है, equity exposure कम होता है। Balance hybrid, so balance hybrid में there is 50-50 of debt and equity related instruments. Aggressive hybrid funds, so aggressive hybrid fund में equity exposure ज्यादा होता है, that is 65 to 80% of the total assets is invested in equity and equity related instruments and the remaining 20 to 35% of the total assets are invested in debt related instruments. Then dynamic asset allocation or balanced advantage, यहाँ पे the fund manager will change the equity exposure depending upon the market condition. यानी अगर fund manager ने देखा कि market थोड़ा ज्यादा volatile हो रहा है, so he may reduce the equity exposure and increase the debt exposure. और अगर मार्केट का स्टेबिलिटी अच्छा है तो ही में इंक्रीज द इक्विटी एक्सपोजर एंड रिड्यूस द डेट एक्सपोजर. सो यहाँ पे मार्केट के अकॉर्डिंगली डेट एक्सपोजर या इक्विटी एक्सपोजर चेंज होता है एंड हेंस दे आर कॉल्ड एज डायनामिक एसेट एलोकेशंस. देन आर्बिट्रेज फंड, दिस इज अ स्कीम of investing in arbitrage opportunities that arises between the difference in the prices in cash market and derivative market. Then equity scheme, so a scheme investing in equity, arbitrage and debt instruments are called as equity saving scheme, but here predominantly equity and equity related instrument में 65% of the total assets are invested. Solution oriented funds, they are retirement funds, children funds. A retirement fund is a solution oriented fund having a lock-in of 5 years or till retirement age, whichever is earlier. Children fund is essentially a fund for investment for children having a lock-in for 5 years or till the child attains the age of majority. Then other schemes में we have exchange traded funds which are called as ETFs. Now exchange traded fund directly tracks a stock exchange index, so they tracks either NSE, Nifty or BSE Sensex. So as the Nifty goes up, the market value of this mutual fund goes up. As the Sensex goes up, the market value of this mutual fund goes up. So their market value is directly reflected by the Sensex or Nifty that they tracks. Then comes fund of fund. फंड ऑफ फंड में आपका जो म्यूचुअल फंड का पैसा है वो दूसरी म्यूचुअल फंड में इन्वेस्ट किया जाता है. सो दिस इज द फंड वेयर म्यूचुअल फंड मनी इज इन्वेस्टेड इन अदर म्यूचुअल फंड्स, मे बी फ्रॉम द सेम फैमिली और फ्रॉम अ डिफरेंट एसेट मैनेजमेंट कंपनी. Now let us understand the concept of NAV. NAV stands for net assets value. Now how is NAV calculated? NAV is the market value of the total assets of the scheme minus its external liabilities. The performance of a particular scheme is denoted by its NAV. That means if the NAV is higher, then we can say that the mutual fund is performing well, and if the NAV is lower, then we will be calling that the mutual fund is not performing so well. Now since the market value of the securities changes every day, the NAV of this scheme also varies on day-to-day basis. The NAV, when divided by the number of outstanding units on that prevailing day, then we get the NAV per unit. The NAV per unit is required to be disclosed daily or weekly depending upon the type of the scheme. Now let us see how to calculate NAV of a mutual fund with the help of an example. So here Sun Mutual Fund held the following securities as on 31st March 2020. So they have invested in 4 companies: A Limited, B Limited, C Limited and D Limited. So the number of shares held and the market price as on 31st March is given to us. Apart from above investment, it also had rupees 25 lakh as cash and 12,50,000 as current assets. The total liabilities amounted to rupees 25 lakhs. Calculate the NAV per unit if the current outstanding units are 72,500. And second part mein they have asked, if Mr. B submits a check of rupees 22 lakhs to the mutual funds, how many number of units he will be receiving. So let us see how to calculate the NAV and how to calculate the number of units allotted to Mr. Sachin. So let us compute the NAV of this fund, and for that we will be drawing a table. Table mein we will be writing all the assets of the fund and we will be deducting it with external liabilities. So assets of the funds में है market value of securities. So ये fund ने 4 companies के securities में पैसा invest किया है. So shares into their market price gives us the market value of that security. Then this fund has a cash of 25 lakhs and current assets of 12,50,000. So the total assets of the fund is 3,31,72,000. Now deducting that with the external liabilities, that is 25 lakh, we get the total net assets value of the fund, that is 3,06,72,000. Now this total assets is divided by the number of units prevailing on that day to get the NAV per unit. So NAV per unit is equals to total net assets divided by number of units, that is 3,06,72,000 divided by 72,500. So we get the NAV per unit to be 423.06. Now in the second part of the question, they have asked how many units will Mr. Sachin receive if he gives a check of 22 lakh to the mutual fund company. So let us see that. So number of units received by Mr. Sachin is 22 lakh divided by the prevailing NAV, that is 423.06. So 5,200.208 units will be received by Mr. Sachin. Now here an important point is, यहाँ पे mutual fund का units can be denoted in decimal as well, whereas when it comes to shares का units, they are not denoted in decimals. अगर आपको यह वीडियो पसंद आया हो तो इसे जरूर लाइक कीजिए और कुछ ऐसे ही इंटरेस्टिंग वीडियोस के लिए मेरे चैनल को जरूर सब्सक्राइब कीजिए. थैंक यू.